Tell us that we are the church. Why haven't we assembled ourselves? Or we still brainwashed, stuck in the shell?
Do your research. And if you need help doing the research, contact the brothers who show you the information. But this is December 25th, during the time of Antiochus, when he was up there persecuting the people in Jerusalem. So what are they talking about that December 25th is Christ's birthday? We see this is where they built the altar to sacrifice swine's flesh. Let's go to verse 60.
At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised.
So they was putting to death women that had got their children circumcised. We're gonna show you how they killed these people, the women. Let's see, verse 61.
And they hanged their infants about their necks, and rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them.
So they was hanging infants about their neck, and went through the house and slew the people who circumcised the child. This is what was going on. We're going to go through some more records real quick. Go to 2 Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 7. Show you how they instituted these Hellenistic customs. They used an Israelite under the table, paid money to be set up to do his own people in. Sound familiar? Paying off our own people to do us in. We're going to show you through the holy records. Because we tell you, thus said the Most High. We don't tell you, thus said the man. We're going to show you, according to the Bible, that this same spirit is in the land today. And this same spirit is in our own people. Because remember, Satan entered Judas, one of the 12. 2 Maccabees 4 and 7.
Second Maccabees 4 verse 7. But after the death of Seleucus, when Antiochus called Epiphanes took the kingdom, Jason, the brother of Onias, labored underhand to be high priest.
So here go Jason. He laboring underhand to be high priest. So he trying to do things on the low so he can be the high priest. To do what? Let's read and see.
Promising unto the king by intercession 360 talents of silver, and of another revenue 80 talents. Beside this, he promised to assign 150 more, if he might have license to set him up a place for exercise and for the training up of youth in fashions of the heathen.
So what he really wanted to do was get this place, build this gymnasium, to have all the youth to come in there and exercise and bring them unto the heathen customs. Go ahead.
And to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochus. How you say that? Say it anytime. Antiochus.
So these same people, he wanted to get them citizenship for Antioch. Here was some Jew. He wanted to take the Israelite people and make them come unto the citizenship of Antioch. Sound familiar? Paul went through this. Paul discussed these things. But if you don't go through certain parts of the records, you won't understand what Paul was discussing. Especially when it was discussing about the circumcision, which we're going to go to. Go ahead, brother.
Which when the king had granted, and he had gotten into his hand the rule, he forthwith brought his own nation to the Greekish fashion.
So he didn't took his own nation. This is how it show you that this was an Israel, that Jason was an Israelite, because he took his own nation, got them citizenship, and brought them up under the Greekish fashion. This is what he was getting paid off to do. This is what your leaders are being paid off to do today. Wake up. Go ahead.
And the royal privileges granted a special favor to the Jews by the means of John, the father of Epolumus, who went ambassador to Rome for amity and aid. He took away and putting down the governments which were according to the law.
So here it is. He taking down the governments that are according to the Most High. Go ahead.
He brought up new customs against the law.
So he brought up new customs against the law. This is why your government is not set up today for us. Your government is set up for these new customs, these new ways. You do whatever you want to do. Freedom of religion, freedom of this and all that. When it was never like that. They knew that these people, the children of Israel, already had a custom. Why wasn't they coming down on the Gentiles like this? Because they were the Gentiles, people. They served any God. The children of Israel had laws, statutes, and commandments and customs. And only had one God. One. But they knew that they had to bring the people and make all the people one. Go ahead.
For he built gladly a place of exercise under the tower itself, and brought the chief young men under his subjection, and made them wear a hat.
So now this is when you start saying the Israelites wearing hats, because that was a Greek fashion. So you wonder why they got these things on their head and all that. That's a Greek fashion. Same spirit today is in the land. Now, when they talking about building these gymnasiums, all these auditoriums and all these things are built to gods, man. And majority of the people that are athletic, that's more athletic than all, are the Negroes, people of Israelite descent, because they were in the slave houses pumping us up the same way they do football players today and basketball players. They have a certain breed of men that they deal with, so the Greeks can sit back and watch them like gladiators go against each other in competition unto their God. But you have no knowledge, so you wouldn't understand that. But if you go and check the history and understand, all these gymnasiums and these auditoriums that you see are built to a God, in honor of a God, because the Gentile nations own them. Go ahead.
Now such was the height of Greek fashion, and increase of heathenism, manners, through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, that ungodly wretch, and no high priest, that the priest had no courage to serve any more at the altar. So
the priest didn't even have courage no more to serve at the altar. We gonna show you what the priest was doing. Instead of giving the word to the people, warning the people about the lamentations, mourning, and woe, what was he doing?
But despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices, hastened to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the palace of exercise. After the game of discus called them forth.
So here it is. They weren't so worried about going to the basketball games and the football games and all that than delivering the word of the Most High. Do that sound familiar, brother?
Man, I was going to church and cut church short to go to the football game every Sunday.
This is what happens. Notice, just like you said, the football games land on Sunday. What day is the Super Bowl on? Ain't that the big Sunday game? The church services is cut short. I know y'all trying to get home to the Super Bowl, so we gonna make it short and sweet for you this Sunday. Because too, they not going home to cut you for eating more than a roll. Go ahead.
Not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all.
So Here it is, the priest like, man, and the people like, man, I really ain't worried about what thus said the Lord, man. Let's go out here and watch this football game. It's better than sitting up and getting some understanding. It's better than sitting there and getting some knowledge. This how they went into captivity. Because the same people that was bringing you them Greekish fashions, that was bringing you your Sunday sports, that was bringing you your boombox and your MTV and all that, gonna be the same people that's finna come up against you. It's gonna prove it that it happened in history. Check your records. Go ahead, brother.
By reason whereof sore calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies and avengers, whose custom they followed so earnestly, and unto whom they desired to be like in all things.
So they desire to be like them. Sound like our people today. They so busy want to be like the oppressor, the heathen. They want to be down with them. They want to eat at the same diner with them. They want to ride in the front of the bus with them. They want to march. They want to change. They want all this. And them the same people that was smacking you upside your head. The same people that was destroying your forefathers. Now you sitting back kicking it and chilling with them. And think about it. You think they paying you millions of dollars so you can live a lavish life and bring your people out of the projects? That's why they switch a majority of those people on credit cards. So when it happens, they're going to shut them right off. When they get ready to cut you from the team, they're going to cut you right off. Not giving you no cash money. You have to ask, can you spend money? You have to ask, can you buy your mama a house this season? You got to ask, can you afford this Mercedes-Benz this year? And then they get on these TV shows, these fabulous life of how I'm living and all of this. That house is not yours. Because the same way that the people houses are going into foreclosures, once they cut you from your sports or your team or your agency, how can you pay your mortgage? Remember, those same people are going to be your enemy. Remember that. And you absolutely right about that. They their enemy now. Let's go to verse 17.
For it is not a light thing to do wickedly against the laws of God.
So it wasn't a light thing. The reason that it's going to come up on them in the long run, if you continue to read this later on your own time, the reason it's going to come up on them and hurt them worse, because it's not a light thing to go against the laws of the Most High. That's why we coming to you today. When you going against the laws and the statutes and the customs that the Most High gave us, how long do you think he will hold his anger off? He didn't make a full end of them in the wilderness. He didn't make a full end of them when they came and sacked Jerusalem during this time. He didn't make a full end of them when they came and sacked Jerusalem in 70 AD. He didn't make a full end of us when they brought us through the middle passageways and broke us out through all these different nations on the four corners of the earth. But broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. If majority of the people are following it, a full end will be made to them. That's why we must go to these people and give the wicked a chance at least to turn back to the Father. The same way Jonas didn't want the wicked to turn back to the Father, but the Lord swallowed him up in the belly of a beast, brought calamities on some Gentile people that was following another God, but confessed to the God that created the heavens, that one God. And made Jonas go back and prophesy unto that wicked nation, that rebellious house, to give them a chance to understand the word of the Most High. So when we tell you to check the records, the reason we tell you to check the records is because when you go through this history, you will see for yourself. We're going to go back into the Apocrypha in 1 second. Matter of fact, we're going to stay there and go ahead and drop it. Go to 2nd Ezra 15 and 10.
They say we know Christ, but we continue to rebel. Why is it we allowing the beast to prevail? Yeah, at first it became hard to understand that I stored myself for the knowledge of a higher. Tempted by sin, I'm looking through the physical. I done did everything on my own, and with my actions, I'm always standing up.